Welcome back to another season of Channel 8 News. This week we dive deep on the Study Abroad Fair, the 9/11 Stair Climb, and more.
For the stories that matter to you, watch new episodes of Channel 8 News at 9 a.m. every Monday on our YouTube page at KNWT TV. Your Channel 8 News starts right now.
Thanks for tuning in to Channel 8 News, the show where we provide the latest news coverage on the Northwest Missouri State University campus and in the Maryville community. I'm Dillon Davis.
And I'm Jillian Mcnamara. Before we get into this week's stories, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for all the latest news and updates. As we begin another semester, freshmen are rolling in and learning their way on campus. Northwest announced that the opening day enrollment shows another year of growth.
Northwest started its 2023 fall semester with a total of 8,071 students, compared to 7,715 on the first day of the 2022-23 school year.
In other news, September 11th is a day we will always remember. For 4 years, Northwest has held a stair climb to pay tribute to the fallen firefighters. Jacob Mustard reports on this 2017-step challenge.
Northwest Missouri State University honors the people who perished in the attacks of 9/11 by holding its annual stair climb. People from the community, students, and staff all joined Northwest this past Monday. Before people started climbing, there was a ceremony that included guest speakers, those being University President Lance Tatum, Campus Minister Jason Yarnell, and Intern Fire Chief Jace Pine. Following the guest speakers, there was a moment of silence and bell ringing of the 4 5s, honoring the first responders who lost their lives that day.
Here to honor the heroic efforts of our first responders who, without pause, willingly ran into harm's way on that fateful September 11, 2001.
After the ceremony concluded, a final moment was shared to send people on their way.
Let's climb.
Northwest invited the Maryville Fire Department, Student Veteran Association, and the Show Me Gold program, who all showed up to join us and help put on this event. Former Fire Chief Philip Rickabaugh had this to say when asked how important the remembrance of 9/11 is.
I think this is important. It's like we should never forget. There were so many sacrifices made that day by first responders, by loved ones that were part of this tragedy, and I think this should live on for their memory, if nothing else.
Participants ranged from families with young children to active and retired firefighters.
Yeah, I was at work at the fire station on the day of the terrorist attacks. I remember very, very well. It was an unbelievable day. Like most Americans, we were stuck to the TV set for most of that whole week, just trying to keep abreast of all the happenings that were taking place.
Student Veterans Association President Allison Martin, who was also at the event, and while she was only in 7th grade when 9/11 took place, she remembers specifics about that day.
I was in 7th grade Spanish class, and when it had happened, we weren't quite aware at first, but then our teacher had brought in a TV to watch the news coverage, and that is when we actually saw the second plane hit the towers.
The impact that 9/11 had on many people's lives cannot be underestimated. Several people that attended this event commented on the impact that it had on them.
It has impacted my life actually drastically because it was the main reason that I joined the military and served for 10 years. And I'm actually trying to get back into the military right now.
Being alive for it, even though I don't really remember it, it still hits home. You know, it happened while I was alive, and I feel like it's sort of my duty to remember each year, as everyone should, what happened on that day and come out and support those who lost their lives.
Along with the sheets to track your progress, there were pictures of fallen first responders that participants could wear to honor those specific people who sacrificed their lives to save others.
Again, I hope that this is a tradition, not a tradition, but something that we as Americans never forget. And I do want to thank everybody that's involved with this event out here at Northwest. It's awesome to see the community come together, and especially the young students like yourself that weren't even born then. You know, I'm sure you weren't. So yeah, I just want to leave it at that.
For the stories that matter to you, I'm Jacob Mustard with Channel 8 News.
This event not only helps pay a tribute to the fallen soldiers, but it helps educate students and community members about the tragic day in history. Throughout generations, the history and feelings start to get lost.
In other news, over the summer, Northwest's second oldest fraternity, Phi Sigma Kappa, received the Herbert L. Brown Outstanding Chapter Award this summer at their national convention held in New Orleans. The Herbert L. Brown Award is given to 2 chapters out of the 65 across the nation, and the Epsilon Nu chapter specifically won for their work in service, campus involvement, DEI, and communication.
When we return, we'll be diving deep into a student's life here on campus. You're watching Channel 8 News on KNWT.
Nice job on the analysis of the game last week.
Oh, thanks.
Come on, Jason, you're not a football player.
Tosses it toward the end zone. Pass cut. Touchdown for Northwest Missouri State. It's Alexander coming up with a catch.
Now that's a football player. Make sure you check out Bearcat Update every Monday at 6 on KNWT TV on YouTube. We got sports news, scores, behind the scenes, and anything to do with Northwest Missouri State University here in Titletown. Check us out.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News, the show for all things Northwest. I'm your host, Jillian Mcnamara. I have Adele Shade here with me today. Adele is a senior at Northwest studying marine biology and wildlife. Last school year, she studied abroad in Australia. So Adele, what was it like going to school in Australia?
Well, I've always wanted to go. They have so many animals that cannot be found anywhere else in the world. And the Great Barrier Reef is right there off the East Coast. So really, it was kind of a no-brainer. You know, if I could afford it, you know, why shouldn't I go? It would enhance my academics, you know, my life. I learned so much more, like not school related, just being on my own and being my own person and standing up for myself and just existing as an independent unit so far away from anyone I knew originally.
Mm-hmm. So what kinds of information specifically did you learn that you couldn't have experienced here at Northwest?
Well, to be honest, Northwest has, for what I'm studying, you know, wildlife and marine biology, I would say that the academic program is pretty good, but, you know, clearly Missouri is not near one of the coasts of the U.S. So being able to study, especially my marine biology, like marine invertebrates, just sedimentology of the ocean, really oceanography, pretty much anything to do with that base level marine biology degree. Experiencing those things hands-on in the labs and being able to go out on boats and actually like measure the salinity of the water in Cleveland Bay and just being able to do stuff like that, hands-on actually doing it is so useful because those are skills that I may or may not need in my career. So to have hands-on experience like that, I would say definitely the main takeaway and the main reason why I went.
Oh, awesome. So Missouri's a little farther from Australia. So how was it talking to your family from that sort of distance?
Well, the main thing you need to contend with is the time zone. I would text them all the time and send them pictures, what I was doing, like, this is a cool brittle star we had in lab, and she was huge, like we held her, here's a picture of that. And so pictures all the time, texts all the time, and they would respond when they could, and we would try and have a like FaceTime call once a week. Sometimes it got busy on both of our ends, sometimes my dad was traveling for work, so sometimes I had to call my parents individually because it's hard to line up 3 time zones.
Right.
But yeah, it wasn't that hard.
Well, Adele, any final thoughts that you would like to share with our Channel 8 viewers today?
My biggest takeaway is that I can and I will go other places for work. I'm not going to let fear or anxiety or, you know, staying where it's comfortable persuade me to not chase what I want to do.
Well, thanks so much. That's all the time we have for Adele. For more information, go to the description below for a link to her story. When we come back, we'll see the Study Abroad Fair and hear about one club here at Northwest. You're watching Channel 8 News on KNWT.
And coming up next here, I'll have my interview with our new guest here on Who's Next on the X right after this quick break.
Another day, we're on in 20.
Good morning.
Not a lot of us do, you know, but maybe this might be your opportunity for that. Yeah.
Who's Next on the X?
In Skyrim, we shouted Fusro Da Dragons, but here on Gen 2, we're just shouting for joy about gaming releases, news, reviews, gameplay, and more.
So make sure to check out Gen 2 every Tuesday at 6 p.m. We promise no dragons will be harmed during our broadcast.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. The Northwest Dietetics Club is a student organization here on campus. Dominick Ocampo reports on their first meeting.
On Thursday, September 14th, school organization Northwest Dietetic Association met for the first time this semester in the administration building in the food lab. There they went through new member introductions and laid out what the rest of the semester will hold for them. President of the organization, Rebecca Kleinschmidt, went into detail about how often they plan on meeting.
This was our first meeting of our semester. We meet once a month throughout the year, so we try and set it up. We send out when to meet, so it works for everyone.
Reagan Rummelhard, treasurer of the NSDA, wanted to spread awareness of the organization and let students know it is open to anybody regardless of major.
I think it could be spread out more to other people on campus. I feel like right now it's a lot of just dietetics majors, but I think anyone who loves food or health science majors or honestly any major, if they love food and want to learn more about it, it could be something that they could be involved in.
If you or anyone you know is interested in food and how it pertains to your health, the NSDA has a fun and interactive way of going about that. For stories that matter to you, this has been Dominick Ocampo with Channel 8 News.
The Northwest Study Abroad office hosted a Study Abroad fair on the 3rd floor of the Union last Wednesday. Students were given the opportunity to speak with different study abroad organizations about their programs and discuss the benefits each organization offers. We spoke to a member of a study abroad program to get an idea of what students could expect from their study abroad programs.
So with our programs, not only do we have a lot of other locations that you can go to, we go to more than 110 locations abroad. We also have a lot of opportunities for nursing students, education majors, engineering students that are really off the beaten path. So even if you think, I can't study abroad because of my major, we have those programs for you. We have scholarships and financial aid, and we also have on-site support to help you while you're abroad.
Students from a wide variety of majors came through the fair hoping to find programs that aligned with their interests. We talked to Katie Miller to find out about her experience.
I'm interested in studying abroad because my major is criminology and my minor is international studies. So I want to go abroad just so I can see how the world views crime and how they see how everyone else lives.
For more information, students can go to the Northwest Study Abroad website about studying abroad and the various organizations Northwest partners with.
Well, that's all the time we have for Channel 8 News. Be sure to click on the links below to rewatch certain sections of our show as well as some upcoming events here at Northwest.
We also want to hear from you, so leave a comment below if you know of someone making a difference here at Northwest. And be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for all the latest news and updates, as well as other content on our YouTube page at KNWT TV. For the stories that matter to you, this has been Channel 8 News. Thanks for watching.
Click those 2 videos on the right to watch some of our content as well as our past episodes. And don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell, and follow us on all our platforms.